Considering both the Owl House and Amphibia are airing new episodes on Saturdays during the same time of year, it's completely understandable for people to not only miss out on new episode descriptions for episodes that haven't aired yet, but to miss out on promotional material for the new episodes as a whole. I mean, shit, we technically got a quick trailer for Amphibia Season 3 before it even started. But it was literally the night before Escape to Amphibia aired. So much to keep up with, but so little time. Well, now that things have calmed down a smidge and I was able to get some godlike artwork for this video's thumbnail, I wanted to talk about the upcoming Amphibia Season 3 episodes and do some discussing / theorizing on upcoming events that could take place based on these episodes' descriptions. Starting off with the next batch of episodes we're getting on April 2nd, Sasha's Angels and Ohmtown Road. Sasha's Angels is centered around a team of resistance fighters getting captured. My guess is Sasha took a set of people from the resistance on a mission, but they got captured in the process, which leads to either Sasha having to rescue them herself, or these guys will get out of this pinch on their own, using everything Sasha taught them about combat and such. As for who's part of this team, well, I'd like to think it's members of the Resistance who have yet been given a chance to shine in these new episodes. I say that because in a short promo released a few days ago, there was a clip of Toady going full feral. Not only that, but it looked like he was inside of a cage. That led me to believe he was one of the Resistance fighters to be captured. With Toady around, I hope Mayor Toadstool was one of these Resistance fighters involved on this mission too. I really want to see him kick some ass. Ohmtown Road is the second episode airing on April 2nd, stated to be about Anne and her friends searching for the city of Proteus. If I butchered the pronunciation on that, I apologize. For those who don't know, the name Proteus comes from Greek mythology, an early prophetic sea god or god of rivers. Homer, the ancient Greek author and poet, referred to Proteus as the old man of the sea. I think it's pretty cool how water-related gods from mythology are being incorporated in Amphibia with, amphibians favoring water-based areas and all. All this makes me think this city will either be completely underwater on some Atlantis energy, or a very water-themed town at the very least. As for why Anne is going to this ancient city, potentially with Sasha since the description says friends and not the planners, it most certainly has something to do with learning about the Mother of Ohms. This is backed up by the fact that the first episode of April 9th is titled Mother of Ohms, which I bet either starts off with this clip or Ohmtown Road ends with it. One of these two. But to segue more into the topic of her name is technically Mother Olim, and she's the keeper of ancient prophecies. This episode will likely be very lore-focused, with Mother Olim giving Anne the rundown about the Calamity Stone's prophecy, how she, Sasha, and Marcy were chosen by fate to wield these powers and use them to stop a greater evil, i.e. the core. Perhaps Anne will be able to gain more control over her powers depending on what Mother Olim tells her. She already got more grasp over them than ever before at the end of Escape to Amphibia. She'll be borderline unstoppable if she's able to go all out without passing out / feeling like ass. This episode is followed by Grime's Pupil, which is going to be a Sprig and Grime focused episode where Sprig has to train under Grime even though they can't stand each other. I bet Sprig training under him was Sasha's idea, but Anne co-signed it because she thinks it'll be good for Sprig to bury the hatchet since they're part of the same team now. This one's definitely going to be more character focused rather than lore / plot focused. I can see the two of them being at odds for the majority of the episode, but some kind of episode-specific conflict will occur that forces the two of them to work together, ending with the two of them completely burying the hatchet, or at the very least coming to an understanding where they won't let personal feelings for each other get in the way of the Resistance's progress. The episodes airing on April 16th are titled The Root of Evil and The Core and the King, with the episode descriptions being Anne and the Planners get stuck in a strange village of plant lovers, I guess that's why the word root is in the title for that one, as well as King Andrus confronts the demons of his past. The Root of Evil probably started off in a manner of Anne and the Planners trying to get new recruits for the Resistance, but the tables turned on them and they got stuck in this village. With this village being plant-obsessed and all, it makes me wonder if this episode will be more Hop Pop focused rather than Anne focused, since he's the farmer of the group with the extreme passion for vegetation. But who knows, maybe these people will be too much even for him. The Core and the King is probably one of the episodes I'm most excited for. Most of the clips from the first Season 3 trailer that I mentioned earlier are from this episode. It's going to properly introduce the Green Horde Toad from Andrus' past, who's now confirmed to be Beryl the Brave, like me and I'm sure many others predicted. Not only that, but he's going to be voiced by Jason Ritter, aka Dipper Pines from Gravity Falls voice actor. Though I highly doubt Jason will use Dipper's exact voice for Beryl, I don't think Dipper's specific voice would fit very well on a character that looks like Beryl.
Grunkle Stan. Nobody ever believes anything I say.
The small pink frog, potential planter ancestor, is also making her proper speaking debut. Considering she's the one who brought the Calamity Box to Earth, she's definitely going to play a major role in this episode. And last, but certainly not least, is the introduction of the previous king of Amphibia, who I can only assume to be King Andrus' father. This guy looks old too, like on the brink of death type old. His face is so wrinkled he can't even open his eyes all the way. Based on even the little context of the trailer clips, I bet the time period in which this flashback is taking place is during the transitional period period of Andreas' dad handing over the mantle of king to his only son, which could explain why Andreas is not only personally hearing the words of his pink frog friend in the throne room, but also his father taking him to the court's chamber for potentially the first time. As for why the pink frog is speaking to Andreas in this kind of setting that almost makes her look like a criminal, I have a feeling it's related to the Calamity Stone's usage in Amphibia. All this technology being used to advance Newtopia in specific, while other areas of Amphibia are being left in the dust / taken advantage of as a result. Considering what the Calamity Box powering Newtopia Castle again has done to Amphibia in present day, it wouldn't surprise me if this is the case in this flashback. Though I'm sure back then it wasn't as severe as it is now. All these things combined definitely left a young Andreas super conflicted on the path to take. On one hand, there's his father and the rest of his family's legacy. His father, who I'm willing to bet becomes part of the core before giving his son the crown, expects him to bring Amphibia to greater power than any other king has done before, even if it means saying goodbye to those childhood friends of his. If his dad isn't the one who said that line, I'll delete my channel. That's how confident I am.
Don't you think it's time to say goodbye to those childhood friends of yours?
Then on the other hand, you have his friends Pinky and Beryl, whom he's known since childhood. And if he takes the position of king only to lead it the way his dad wants him to, it'll mean leaving those friends behind. Well, clearly the latter path was what he chose. Why else would Pinky have chosen to steal the Calamity Box and keep it on Earth out of Andreas' reach? Also, I hope we learn if these three friends were originally connected to the Calamity Stones like Anne, Sasha, and Marcy. That's something I've wondered for a while. Now, for the episodes airing on April 23rd, Newts and Tights and Fight or Flight. Newts and Tights is about Anne and Sprig confronting an old mentor while on a recon mission. Who else could this possibly be other than Tritonio Espada? That's so dope that they're bringing him back again. I really like this character. With Tritonio originally being a bad guy or thief as well as a newt, do you think he's part of Andreas' current army, or is he just still a rogue thief? I bring the idea up because the description specifically states Anne runs into him during a recon mission. Recon, of course, being a type of mission where she's trying to gather information on Andreas' army through stealth-like spying. I'd totally be down for him joining the Resistance by the end of this episode, though. I'd totally be down for that. Then there's Fight or Flight, where Anne tries to rescue an old friend from one of Andreas' robot camps. The question is, which friend could this be? Valeriana, Gertie from Newtopia, General Yunan, or Lady Olivia? I like the Lady Olivia / General Yunan idea the most, since Andreas both instructed them to be involved with the robot camps and like recruiting people for the robot camps. I guess we'll have to wait and see. April 30th has the three armies and the beginning of the end. The three armies being about Anne and Sasha trying to get the frogs, toads, and newts to work together. So it seems there's going to be a frog army, a toad army, and a newt army. Presumably Anne leading the frog one, Sasha leading the toad one, and the newt one maybe led by Olivia or Yunan. That's why I brought up both of them being involved in Fight or Flight. Yunan's already kind of a natural leader, and seeing Olivia, lead an army, that would be good character development from her if she is the one to do it. Anne and Sasha are probably going to have to go to all different areas of Amphibia to get certain groups to cooperate. I'm especially looking forward to Sasha trying to negotiate with Beatrix, Aldo, and Bufo. Then, of course, the beginning of the end, having the final preparations before the all-out war against Andreas and the Corps begins. The last two episode titles have yet to be given descriptions, but they're titled All In, which airs on May 7th, and The Hardest Thing, which is the series finale and airing on May 14th. One thing to note about The Hardest Thing is it takes up the slots for episode 18, 19, and 20 for season 3, which has led people, myself included, to think this is going to be a 45-minute finale or a 90-minute finale. Man, I hope that ends up being the case. I'm not gonna lie, a normal 25-minute just wouldn't hit the same for me. It just wouldn't. Let me know which episode you guys are most excited for, as well as any other theories or speculations you might have pertaining to these upcoming episodes that I haven't mentioned already. I'd love to know your thoughts. Also want to give a huge shout out to Bone for the awesome artwork they made for this thumbnail. I've commissioned them in the past and they've always done a spectacular job. Be sure to check them out if you ever want any artwork made. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like down below. It helps out a ton. But for now, I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Take care. Bye-bye.